Alright, I am back with another episode in a series I call Protip, where I partner with a professional bartender or someone in the industry to share a hack for the home bartender or an interesting technique or recipe. And again, a portion of the proceeds will go to support folks in the industry who are out of work and struggling right now, but you can also support by ordering from your local bars or restaurants. This episode, I'm super excited to be partnered with Jesse Vida, the head bartender at the world-famous Atlas Bar in Singapore. Jesse, what do you got for us today?
Hello, cocktail lovers, fans of this channel, Cocktail Chemistry. It's an awesome honor to be on here. My name is Jesse Vida. I'm the head bartender of Atlas Bar in Singapore, so I'm coming to you from sunny Southeast Asia to talk about a little trick I like to do at home with the martini. You know, when you're at home, it's just kind of a pain. You know, it's like cooking. You have to go through this process of like pulling everything out, making the drink, getting your dilution correct, cleaning everything up, putting everything away, just to have a couple of martinis, which is why a lot of people just go to the bar and have us make them for them, which I totally understand, and I'm in the same boat. So when I did discover this little trick, I've been a huge fan of it ever since. So basically what I like to do is just pre-batch a large amount of martinis, or a medium to large amount of martinis, and I just stick them in my freezer. So once you mix all these ingredients and you basically add a little bit of dilution, because when you stir or shake a drink, you know you are adding water content to it. You just put that in the freezer. You let it sit for about 24 hours. It shouldn't freeze as long as you have the right alcohol by volume. We use a 45% alcohol by volume London dry gin in our Atlas Martini. And then, yeah, you can just pour it out, add a little lemon twist, and drink martinis to your heart's desire. I think you'll be even impressed with how amazing it comes out, and you'll definitely impress your friends, family, partners with this little trick. So yeah, just have that instant Atlas Martini ready to go at your whim at any time. Life hack.
Alright, we're going to try this out using the signature cocktail from the Atlas Bar called the Atlas Martini. And first I'm going to make it the normal way and then compare it with the frozen batched version. The recipe calls for Ford's Gin, which is a 45% ABV London dry gin, but you can get away with probably most dry gins. For this one, we're going to start with 2 ounces or 60 mils into a mixing glass. Next, instead of the typical dry vermouth in a martini, we're going to use blanc vermouth, which from a sweetness standpoint is in between dry vermouth and sweet vermouth. I'm using this one from Dolin, which has some subtle elderflower notes. It's quite tasty. We're going to use half an ounce or 15 mils into the mixing glass. And then here we have the really unique ingredient in the Atlas Martini, champagne vinegar, which is a bit lighter than white wine vinegar and is of course derived from champagne. And we're just going to add half a teaspoon or about 2.5 mils. And finally, we need some orange bitters, 2 dashes, or if you're using one of these droppers, you fill it up about 3/4 of the way, and that's about the equivalent of 1 dash. Stir that with ice for about 20 to 30 seconds to chill and dilute it. And I'm going to pour that into a chilled coupe glass that I've had in the freezer, and look at that beautiful golden color. And don't skip this step, we're going to add a lemon twist by just expressing the oils over the top, rubbing the rim, and drop it in. So let's give it a taste. The signature martini of Atlas Bar, the Atlas Martini. Okay, this is hands down one of the best martinis I've ever had. It's a fantastic recipe. I've never actually made a martini with blanc vermouth before, and that additional sweetness is really nicely balanced by that hint of vinegar. If nothing else, go make this cocktail. It's fantastic. Okay, now that we know I'm going to be drinking about 10 of these over the next week, let's go ahead and try out Jesse's trick and batch this and store it in the freezer. But first, as I mentioned earlier, a portion of the proceeds from this video will go to supporting the hospitality industry, and a big thank you to Trade Coffee for sponsoring this video. I'm pretty particular about my coffee, and Trade makes it super easy to find coffee that matches my preference and conveniently delivers it right to my door. You just start by taking this short quiz to tell them what you like. In this case, I was going for coffee ideal for pour-over, served black, maybe a light roast to minimize the oils and retain the origin flavors, and whole beans so we can do that fresh grind. Then you just choose your delivery frequency and it arrives fresh roasted to your door. And here I was matched with a delicious blend that had hints of dark chocolate, and amazingly it had been roasted just a few days before it arrived, so it was delicious. And as someone who is a daily coffee drinker who loves to experiment with new flavors, I cannot recommend Trade Coffee enough. And right now they have a great offer. You can just click the link below to get 30% off your first bag when you sign up, and that also includes free shipping. Go give it a try. Alright, to batch these martinis, we're going to scale it up to make 4 of these. So starting with our gin, we're going to quadruple that to 8 ounces or about 240 mils, funnel that into some kind of vessel. To that we're going to add 2 ounces or 60 mils of our Blanc vermouth. But for the bitters and champagne vinegar, we're actually going to want to cut those in half because the flavors will really intensify as they sit in the batch. So instead of 2 teaspoons of vinegar, we're going to add just 1, which is about 5 mils. And then instead of 8 dashes of orange bitters, we're going to add 4. And now we want to pre-dilute this, so we're going to add 10% water by volume. So because the drink is about 10 ounces of volume, we're going to add 1 ounce or 30 mils of water into it. This will be a pretty strong drink because if you dilute it much more, it'll freeze at the temperature of most home freezers. Seal your container and mix everything up and then just throw it in the freezer. It'll look something like this and it's pretty much good to go. And this will last months in the freezer. Whenever you're ready to drink it, just grab a chilled coupe glass and pour it right in. And this is a strong drink, remember, about 35% ABV compared to about 25% from the fully diluted one, so keep that in mind when pouring it out. Again, the critical step of the lemon twist on top, and let's give it a taste, our pre-batched Atlas Martini. Okay, this is still an excellent drink. I would have thought the higher alcohol content would have just overpowered the flavors, but not at all. If anything, quite the opposite. Doing a side-by-side comparison confirms it. This is a better drink and significantly more convenient. And now I gotta go try this with a bunch of other spirit-forward cocktails like the Manhattan. Well done, Jesse. Any parting words for the audience?
Thank you for all of you who have continued to support your local bars and restaurants. If you haven't, it does go a long way, even to just order, to-go cocktail. You can get on the internet, you can find different ways to help, to donate. We're just trying to stay alive during these times, so we can be there, for you as we have been in the past to make you great drinks, to have some good chat across the bar. And I think that's just the number one thing, is just, keep supporting. So thank you again. And we hope to see you out in Singapore once you're able to make it out here for a nice ice-cold Atlas Martini at the bar. Ciao.
Hey, thanks for watching, y'all. This week, please try to go out and support one of your favorite local bars or restaurants. They're really struggling right now and could use the help. And a big thank you to Jesse Vida for sharing his pro tip. I'll put a link to his Instagram below if you want to see more from Jesse. And if there's any bars or bartenders you'd want me to feature as part of this series, just let me know in the comments below. Cheers.